Desa Mentari Satu, low-cost flats, blue-collar workers trying to make ends meet, and insufficient public resources are the reality here. But they don't seem to deter some 100 children who come together to play games and partake in free art and music classes. The Suriana Welfare Society is not your average after-school daycare. Their objective is to see children prosper when they are given the right space to be free to do what they want, and it also serves as a platform for the group. A platform to observe children's behavior, to identify if they are potential victims of abuse. James Nayagam, the founder of the Suriana Welfare Society, spent over 35 years of his life engaging in children's welfare and has seen one too many abuse cases, especially in impoverished urban communities.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe children could be abused. I began to feel that children should be helped. We give them a doll and ask them to relate to us what happens in their house. And the child will tell you very in detail what exactly happens. And then during play therapy, how they play with the children, art therapy, what kind of colors they use, then question them what happened, why is it? And then they feel sad, very sad. Who made you sad? And then the story will come out.
It's hard to get children to recall a dark experience. Thus, the group has been trying their best to encourage children, especially victims of abuse, to tell their side of the story. Most children are too young to describe their experiences in detail and don't realize the importance of keeping evidence. All these factors combined pile up and make it harder to uncover victims of abuse and even harder to collect evidence to bring their abusers to justice.
So I've dealt with a case of two girls who were raped when they were 9 years old. But when the court finished, they were 18 years old. So I'm very sad because really there's no justice.
In Malaysia, child abuse statistics are kept locked behind the Official Secrets Act. Most people do not see the bigger picture. Sure, netizens make a lot of noise when a child abuse case comes to light, but for every case that makes it to the public eye, many more remain in the dark. Younger children sometimes accept abuse because, according to UNICEF, 1 in 2 cases of child abuse in 2008 were done by a parent of the said child, and almost 3 out of 5 of these cases were where the child was abused by their own mother. In 2016, British police tracked down and captured 30-year-old Richard Huckle, who came to Malaysia as a Sunday school teacher. Huckle was anything but a missionary. He was a rampant child abuser. After he was caught, he was found guilty of sexually assaulting at least 200 children, some less than 1 year old, from 2006 to 2014. He was convicted of 71 crimes, 22 of which carried a life sentence. The story made waves across the world. More importantly, it also revealed the fact that the signs of child abuse are often invisible and how children in impoverished parts of town are far more vulnerable to abusers. According to the police, over 13,000 cases of child sexual abuse were reported from 2012 to 2016. Out of that, 2,189 cases were brought to court, where just a measly 140 cases dishing out a sentence, just over 1% of reported cases. Gathering evidence of abuse is a difficult process that often ends up in a dead end. Hence, prevention is better than cure. Protect and Save the Children is currently the only non-profit organization that is known to focus on prevention, intervention and rehabilitation for sexually abused children. Shani Cheng has spoken to parents about this, hoping that they would wake up and learn to listen to their own children.
Because what happened when we started this, we used to teach the child. Children say no right and tell, but when they go adults, they'll say, what nonsense are you talking about? You know, the adult doesn't listen.
Child abuse is a widespread issue that corrodes the moral fabric of society. However, many a parent believe that their chances of their own child being sexually abused is slim.
So we need to teach the parents first. Because parents have to get themselves educated on how sexual abuse happens. They have to know that it's not a stranger danger. They have to know how to prevent it. They have to know how it happened to prevent it. If they do not know all these things will happen.
For children, the old concept of sex education, which is seen to be taboo in some cultures, needs a new approach that can be more easily accepted by conservative parents.
We don't call it a sex education because people will be paranoid when you hear the word sex education to the child. We have a program called the Personal Safety Program. So this program is to teach children on how to prevent against any form of abuse or prevent anything they don't like, right? So what we normally do is that we have to teach the child boundaries. What is a safe touch? What's an unsafe touch?
In Asian cultures, some parents are still subscribed to the belief that you hurt the ones you love. It is this very ideology that sometimes blurs the line between physical punishment and physical abuse. Apart from teaching children how to protect their own bodies, Nayagam's other battle is to correct the mindset and the understanding of some parents, particularly the ones in poorer communities, and convincing them that taking it out on their children is unacceptable.
So now, after 35 years and in the process, I've changed the approach. I deal with the child. I also deal with the parents. We have counseling for the parents and we have counseling for the child. Sometimes, yes, the child can be hyperactive. So what we do is, if we are there, we are able to assist the family, at the same time protect the child.
Once a child is a victim of abuse, the repercussions are severe. It can have an immense negative influence on the child's growth, life, and attitudes towards relationships in the future. Some may even grow up with a skewed understanding of love and compassion and seek other abusive or unorthodox ways to fulfill their basic desires. Teaching children to be cautious is important, but that is just half the battle. The other half is to ensure that parents do not neglect the signs of abuse and to join the fight to eradicate child abuse altogether. Jiang Hao, Daniel Anthony, KiniTV.